Her beauty was her power, until she insulted the wrong woman. They say Lagos doesn't sleep. But the night Chioma's reflection disappeared, even the city held its breath. She was the girl everyone talked about, flawless skin, waist like an hourglass, lips painted red like a rose. With over 200,000 followers on Instagram, Chioma had turned beauty into a currency. Makeup brands sent her packages. Girls copied her outfits. Boys sent her DMs with promises of Benz in Dubai. But behind the filters, there was pride, poisonous pride. One Sunday morning, she walked into church late, wearing a tight, lace gown that sparkled like glass in the sunlight. Her heels clicked like a countdown. The ushers froze. The choir missed a note. Even the pastor blinked twice. And then it happened. Mummy Esther, the pastor's wife, was calm and soft-spoken, always dressed in honor and dignity. Gently touched Chioma's arm and whispered, "My daughter, next time dress modestly. This is God's house." Chioma paused, looked her up and down, then laughed loudly. "Madam, don't touch me. Is it jealousy? Do I look like your mates? My beauty is not your problem. Pray for your wrinkled face." The church fell silent. Mummy Esther didn't say another word. She looked at Chioma with eyes too old and knowing. That evening, as Chioma stood in her bedroom applying lip gloss and recording a selfie video, her phone screen glitched. A strange light flashed across the screen. The app crashed. She turned on her front camera again and froze. Her face looked different. Too different. She zoomed in. Her skin had started peeling around her nose. Her left eyelid drooped. Her lips looked dull. Her cheekbones are gone. She gasped. Then the phone slipped from her hand and shattered like glass against the tile floor. Chioma didn't sleep that night. She stood over the shattered phone like it was a dead body. Her ring light flickered. The air felt heavy, as if something ancient was watching. She rushed to the bathroom mirror. No, this is makeup," she muttered, scrubbing her face with cleanser. But the rough patches spread. Her once glowing cheeks now looked dull and dry, like old wall paint. Her left eyebrow thinned before her eyes. Her lips cracked like burnt bread. By morning, the filters couldn't save her, not even Facetune. She called her friend Kamsi. "Girl, it's stresso. Just sleep or drink cucumber water," Kamsi said, yawning. But by the next night, her nose had changed shape, wide and bumpy. Her hair was falling out in patches. Even her voice cracked when she tried to film a new video. Then came the whispers. "She's hiding. Maybe it's skin cancer. Pride is a disease." Chioma stayed indoors for days. Her room became a prison. She covered mirrors, threw away her makeup. Her fans began unfollowing. Brands stopped calling. And still, the curse grew worse. That Sunday, Kamsi forced her church. "Let's go. Maybe it's a spiritual attack." They walked in late again, but this time, no one turned to look. Chioma wore a scarf, dark shades, and a long gown that hid everything, but she could feel their eyes. And then she saw her, Mummy Esther, sitting quietly in the second row, her face calm and glowing. Chioma's chest tightened. After service, she swallowed her pride and approached the woman she once insulted. "And Mummy Esther, please, I'm sorry for what I said that day." The older woman looked at her gently, then said just one thing. "Your beauty was only borrowed. God is just asking for it back until your heart is ready." Days turned to weeks. Chioma avoided mirrors. Her beauty, once her power, had become a ghost. Her mother, a soft-spoken woman who sold lace wrappers in Yaba, wept every night. Her father stopped bringing visitors home. Even Kamsi, her closest friend, now picks her calls less often. Every remedy failed, including organic soaps, fast skin therapists, and deliverance sessions. But the curse wasn't in her skin. It was in her heart, and the city could no longer protect her from it. Then he came. It was a Saturday morning. The compound was quiet. The landlord's dogs had stopped barking. The sky was gray. Someone knocked. When her mother opened the gate, she let out a scream. Standing outside was a man wearing one brown trouser leg and one black, mismatched pair of bathroom slippers, a faded, oversized shirt, and a walking stick covered in peeling stickers of gospel artists. His hair looked like it hadn't been combed in years. His face was patchy and rough like crack cement. His breath, Lord have mercy. "Good morning, Ma. I'm here to see Chioma," he said with a crooked smile, revealing 3 brown teeth. Chioma heard her name and slowly came out. When she saw him, she froze. Her chest thudded. What is this?" she whispered. "I heard you're looking for a cure," the man said. "I am Brother Cole. I've come to marry you." "Marry who?" her mother gasped. "You must be mad." But Cole didn't flinch. He pulled out a small note written in bold block letters. "Until she marries the man who offends her pride and serves him with love, her beauty shall not return." It was signed by Mummy Esther. Chioma's knees buckled. Her past insult had turned into a living punishment. A man who represented everything she once mocked. And now, the only way out was through him. They said Lagos had seen madness, but no one expected Chioma's wedding to a man like Brother Cole. There were no guests, no decorators, no lace asoebi, just a small borrowed plastic table, 2 faded plastic chairs, and a Bible with missing pages. The pastor who came refused even to take a photo. The neighbors watched from behind curtains, whispering, "Nah charm. Ah, this girl used to be a goddess. Look what pride has done." Cole stood there grinning, picking his teeth with a broomstick. His wrapper was torn, and his left eye twitched like it had a life of its own. His shoes? 1 canvas, 1 bathroom slipper. His perfume smelled like expired onions and rainwater. And Chioma? She wore a plain, faded gown with no makeup and a scarf tied tightly around her head. She didn't smile. She didn't cry. She just stood still like a statue of shame. "I do," she said in a whisper. Her neighbors gasped. And that night, she moved into his Face Me a Face You room in a dusty corner of Mushin. Inside, the walls were stained with oil and regret. The mattress was on the floor with no bedsheet. The fan made a sound as if it were choking. There was only 1 bulb, and it flickered like a dying eye. Cole's snore started as soon as he lay down. Grhhh, grhhh. The smell filled the room. Chioma covered her nose and sat by the window. This is my life now. Every part of her wanted to run. But deep inside, something whispered, "Stay, learn, change." Every morning, before the first Danfo bus horn echoed through the street, Chioma was already awake, sweeping their compound barefoot, tying her wrapper tightly as if it could hold her broken pride together. Brother Cole was no husband. He was a warden. Warm my bath water. Wash these trousers with your hand. My feet are itching. Scratch them now. This soup tastes like punishment. He barked orders like a prison guard. And when she didn't respond fast enough, he'd hiss and mutter, "Slay queens are useless. Empty containers. You know even Sabi cook." But Chioma said nothing. She cooked, washed, cleaned, served. Even when Cole's friends came up with gossip and mock her, "Is this not the same Chioma from Instagram?" She brought them food with trembling hands and a quiet smile. At first, the neighbors mocked her too. "Pride go before Cole," one man joked. But something was shifting. One day, a little girl tripped in front of their compound. Her leg was bleeding, and people just stared. But Chioma ran out, tore her wrapper, and wrapped the girl's wound with her bare hands. Another time, she saw a pregnant hawker crying after someone stole her goods. Chioma, once the queen of selfies, gave her last 500 Nigerian nairas without thinking twice. She started helping Mama Ijeoma carry Accra trays. She swept the church before service started. She greeted security guards, gave water to beggars, and helped older women cross the road. And slowly, the city began to see her differently, not as the fallen beauty, but as the healed soul. What she didn't know was that someone had been watching, quietly, silently, Mummy Esther, and the moment of truth was drawing near. That night, the power went out again. The heat inside Cole's tiny room was unbearable. His snoring was louder than thunder, and the air smelled like old beans and forgotten socks. Chioma sat by the window, sweat trickling down her neck, eyes fixed on the moon. She whispered, "God, am I still being punished?" And then As if the silence heard her, the room grew cold. Not fan cold, not breeze cold, sacred cold. A soft light entered the room. Not from the moon, not from the street. It glowed like silver fog. Ariite turned. Standing near the corner was a woman in white. Her wrapper shimmered like morning dew. Her scarf was tied in perfect humility. Her face was old but beautiful, full of peace, full of power. Chioma gasped, "And Mummy Esther?" But the woman did not speak at first. She walked forward gently and placed a hand on Chioma's chest, not her skin, but her heart. "My daughter," she finally said, "you are now beautiful." Chioma's lip trembled. "But look at my face. I'm still..." "No, your beauty is no longer in your face. It lives in how you serve, how you love, how you see others." Tears flowed down Chioma's cheeks. "You passed the test," Mummy Esther said softly. "When you wake, the curse will lift." And just like that, the light faded. Chioma woke up with a jolt, her heart pounding. Cole was still snoring. The room was still hot. She stumbled to the small broken mirror behind the door, the one she hadn't looked into in weeks. She stared. Her eyes widened. Her face was back, not just back glowing. Clear, peaceful, her hair had thickened, her lips softened. Her skin shone with something no filter could ever give grace. The sun rose slowly over Mushin that morning, golden and soft, as if it too wanted to witness a miracle. Chioma stood outside the room, dressed in a simple white gown, her natural hair combed back, glowing in the early light. No makeup, no jewelry, no noise, just peace. Cole stepped out moments later, yawning, scratching his belly, and dragging one mismatched slipper. Then he saw her. He blinked. Once. Twice. You're not my wife," he stammered. Chioma turned, eyes calm. "I am, but I'm not who I used to be." He stepped back. "No, my wife is ugly, broken, finished. This is not you." She smiled gently and handed him a calabash of warm food. "I'm grateful, Brother Cole. You were part of my journey. You were the mirror I didn't want, but the one I needed." "But who will cook for me now?" he mumbled, eyes darting like a child who had lost his toy. Chioma paused. "May you find someone who sees you the way God sees you." And with that, she walked out of the compound barefoot, the dust not dirtying her anymore, but carrying her like royalty. The neighbors stared in awe. That's her? Chioma? She's even more beautiful now. But something about her eyes, she's changed." She returned home. Her mother collapsed into tears, hugging her like a daughter reborn. Her father stood in shock, whispering, "Thank you, Lord." A week later, a black Jeep arrived at their gate. The driver stepped out and opened the door. From it emerged a tall, soft-spoken young man in native attire, holding a single sunflower. "I'm looking for Chioma," he said. "I heard about a woman who used to be proud but became wise. A woman whose scars became her crown." She stepped out slowly. They locked eyes. This time it wasn't about beauty. It was about the heart. The wedding was nothing like Chioma had once imagined. There were no flashing lights, no trending hashtags, no designer gown imported from the UK. Instead, it was held in a small church courtyard, surrounded by flowers and people who had once whispered behind her back, now smiling through their tears. The young man, Obinna, the quiet tech entrepreneur from Abuja, didn't marry Chioma because she was beautiful. He married her because she was humble, kind, and full of quiet strength. When they exchanged vows, she didn't say, "I do like before." She whispered, "Thank you for seeing me beyond the mirror." Even Mummy Esther was there, sitting in the front row, her face glowing like moonlight. When Chioma knelt to greet her after the ceremony, the old woman whispered, "Now you're more beautiful than ever." Chioma didn't chase followers anymore. She didn't obsess over filters. She started a small foundation for young girls struggling with self-worth. She visited schools, spoke in churches, cooked her husband's food with love, hugged strangers, smiled at street hawkers, helped widows carry their bags. She even returned to Mushin to visit Brother Cole. He was still the same loud, fussy, mismatching clothes, but his eyes softened when he saw her. She gave him a new wrapper and slippers. "I forgave you long ago," she said. "You were part of my healing." He sniffed. "You still know how to make good soup?" She laughed. "I know how to serve now. That's better than soup." Moral lesson: pride steals the soul's reflection. Humility restores it. Beauty without kindness is a fading perfume, sweet at first, but quickly forgotten. And when life humbles you, don't curse the pain. Sometimes, the ugliest moments lead you to the truest version of yourself.